What's good, y'all? John D. Saunders here. I hope all is well. In today's video, I'm breaking down our wireframe process and how we help startups develop their website design and development strategy by leaning on wireframes to get it done. Let's dive in, y'all. So wanted to show you this doc here. This is our job template, and this is what we add to Asana to track all of our tasks for clients. And so in this video, I wanted to focus on our wireframe process and how we take client ideas from the brand discovery, that initial session, turn it into a sitemap, wireframe, and then high fidelity wireframe, then we go into development with. So to show you just a snippet of that process, what we usually do, and this is probably 80 to 90% of the time, we'll have a brand discovery with the client. And so overall, a web designer and branding project will take about 90 days. So in that first week, we'll have that brand discovery. And during that discovery session, we ask questions like their value statement, their competitors, what are their specific services that are needed on the site, what they do, their program. So we get and gather as much information as we can, perform a competitive analysis. And again, I can go into detail in these on more videos, but I want to get more so into the wireframe process. And so once we have that discovery, we essentially have all the info that we need to make informed decisions. So myself and the team, our designer, our AE, and our dev, we get together, we go through that brand discovery, and we develop a sitemap. So the process for wireframing at our agency is broken up into 3 sections. One is creating that sitemap or that overall architecture of the site, and then we move into wireframing. And the reason we do that is to be able to provide that to clients to give feedback on their thoughts. We're creating this based on competitive analysis, which I can get into in another video, and we go ahead and execute in that way. So just to show y'all that brand discovery is here in this kind of first iteration of the site, and then we go into the sitemap, where we collect feedback, we send the clients updates, and then we work through the website content doc. But this video is focused on wireframing, so let me show you what that is. Just for anyone that doesn't understand what that means, wireframing is a way to design a website service at the structural level. So think of it as the blueprint for your website. It's used to lay out the content, the functionality of a page, the user journey, essentially everything that user will need to make an informed decision. It's the blueprint for your website. And I always recommend agencies doing this. A lot of agencies go straight into the design without having architecture. And again, you can waste a lot of time doing that because the client hasn't been able to, one, provide feedback. You might not have done any competitive analysis, right? You're just going off the cuff. And so you're not using the experiences, analytics, or competitive analysis to really make those informed decisions. So with that said, let me show you all the process. And so we do all of this in a platform called Figma. I'm going to show you just an example client project. So first thing we do is the sitemap. And the way we break it down is by page. So you can see my little table here at the bottom. Sorry, this is a little blurry, y'all. This is an older wireframe. So anything in blue is the page. Yellow is a section of that page. Red is a call to action or button on that page, and then green is CMS. Now CMS is specific to Webflow. We build probably 90% of our websites using Webflow. And so because of that, we're able to create a content management system out of a lot of the assets on a website. So think of that as the blog. We can add team members into a CMS. We can add specifics in regards to how the website is displayed, programs, events. Think of it as anything that's going to be updated dynamically over time. You can turn into a CMS via Webflow to help that website grow and be able to give team members access for them to make updates. So with that said, let me show you how this is done. You can do this in Figma, or you can use a free service called draw.io, which is really cool. It's a free flowchart maker and online diagram software. So check that out when you can. It's completely free. You can build out your sitemap using this platform, and it ties into Google Drive, which is dope. So with that said, we first start by making that sitemap. Now remember, the sitemap is contingent on our competitive analysis and that brand discovery we had. And so at this point, let me show you just an example. Here I have my home page, right? That's blue. So this is a page, this is a page, this is a page, and so forth. And then each of these arrows either have a call to action or section that goes to a specific page. So on the home page, you have an image header with tagline and call to action. Membership, right? That's a section. Then we have featured exhibitions, which pulls from the CMS. Become a member. Let me zoom in here. Become a member, call to action, who we are. So as you can see, this is the roadmap of the site. So it's not necessarily a wireframe, right? Because we're not displaying the content, but it gives a client a visual of what the site will be displayed as. And so what we do is we ask clients to leave their comments. Now, I can get into this in another video, and you can actually check out my last video on creating a knowledge base for your website. But what you can do is you can create a landing page for your client. I'll just show you an example here, and then you can just post their links there. So with that said, let me go ahead and jump back into Figma here and show you the sitemap. So this is the sitemap, the entire sitemap for the website that we've created for the client. As you can see, we went through 2 versions of this. This was V1 and this is V2. So you can ask clients to collaborate here and leave comments. Now, what you want to do is you want to give them complete creative freedom, right? Because you're making these decisions based on your experience. You're looking at competitors, looking at the discovery. So you want to come into this saying, hey, this is the sitemap that we created. This is based on X, Y, and Z. We'd love your general feedback on it. And so you can collect feedback here. And the reason you do this iteratively is because if you just went straight to web design and they're like, hey, we don't like this whole page, or hey, this whole section needs to go, now you and your design team have to go back and redesign that. When you start here in the sitemap process, it's really just 3 seconds to make a change, right? If they're like, hey, exhibitions should be over here, or we need an additional section here, it's really easy to add an additional box. And what this also does, it is empowers your designers and gives them more assets and more resources to get the job done. So let's say the sitemap is approved, great, client loves it. What we'll do is we'll send over assets to our designers, right? So we'll send over everything that they need to make an informed decision to move forward. So I'll show you an example of what that looks like. You know, we'll send over the discovery, we'll send over the sitemap, we'll send over fonts, logos, and all this is tied through in Google Drive. Again, this is in Notion. You can check out my last video on creating a knowledge base for that. And then you can see the color files here, anything that they would need. Here's all the EPS source files. So they're able to access everything through that landing page on Notion and then able to see everything here on the Google Drive. And so once that's done, now we're going to move into low fidelity. And so what happens here is this is what the actual site structure will look at. So our amazing designer team, AB, worked on this. And as you can see, you can actually call this low to mid fidelity. So to break it down, low fidelity looks like this, right? It's the layout and structure of the website. High fidelity is what the actual site will look like in real time. As you can see here, this is what the site actually looks like, right? You can see it has content, it has images, it has everything that's needed. So going back to this low or mid fidelity, right? Because it looks like this has a structure. Now, the reason we do this is because we're able to move faster iteratively through the project. So we've done a sitemap, the clients approved the sitemap, we went through some changes. Now we're doing low fidelity here. And as you can see, this page has a lot of the info. One, it has a structure. We're using the font and typography here as well. Of course, there's filler text, but overall, this is the layout and design and structure of the final site. As you can see, all the sections are here, all the content's here. Now, the main reason we use the font, we use the overall layout and design is because then we can go into high fidelity pretty quickly once this is approved. So the clients approve the sitemap. Now we're in mid-fi. Now we go through another iterative process where they're leaving comments, we're updating it. And then once this is approved, then we go into high fidelity. And this is what high fidelity looks like. So it looks similar, right, to this low or mid fidelity design. But as you can see, it's got images, it's got color, it's got a bit more style and design here in this actual structure and layout. And so we usually do this. We'll add a style guide as well to execute. And then we have an archive of just older files or edits that we've had through the past. Now, we've done the sitemap, we've done low/mid fidelity, and now we're at the high fidelity wireframe. Now, the great thing about this is the client's not going to make fundamental changes to the overall layout and structure, right? They did that in the low/mid fidelity. Here, it's really just about getting that final approval on image content and overall layout of the site. Now, this gets rid of a lot of issues and mitigates issues you might have through this process. If we went straight into this and started designing and laying this out, the client might come back with a ton of changes. But because we've moved through the sitemap, the low, mid-fi, and the high-fi, now we're here and almost ready to move into development. So just a quick recap on this. You always want to start with a sitemap based on your brand discovery session. Then you want to move into low or mid fidelity to get that layout and structure done. And then you want to go straight into hi-fi. And that's a look at our wireframe process. If you want more, you can check out my course or additional YouTube links below. And I hope this was helpful on your web design journey, y'all. Thank you all for checking out the video. It's much appreciated. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, drop a comment below with any questions you've got, and I'm happy to help. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.